All right, step number 1, you need to get a piece of paper that you are going to rip in half. My suggestion, kind of fold it, rip it, doesn't have to be perfect by any means. You now have 2 pieces of paper in half. What you're going to need to do now is you are going to need to have a straight edge, your protractor, and we're going to use the pattern blocks that we've been using. I would like you to take your first blank sheet of paper, and I would like you to fold it in half from top to bottom, like so. See the 2 differences? And then I would like you to fold it in half from left to right. Your paper should look similar to that. I want you to go ahead and open it up. Tell me what kind of an angle you just made. Go ahead and trace it with your finger. What kind of an angle did you make? Gosh, I hope you said 180 degrees. That is a straight angle. What I would like you to do is I would like you to mark the vertex. I'll give you a few seconds to do that before I show you. Hopefully this was what you did. The vertex is the middle point of where 2 line segments connect. This is where the fold is. Go ahead and fold it back the way you originally had it. And go ahead and run your finger along the folds. My folds are up here and here, but you could also do it here and here. So, what type of an angle did we make? Sure hope you're saying 90-degree right angle. I'd like you to go ahead and show me the vertex of this one. I'm going to go ahead and turn my paper like this so that I have fold, fold. I'm going to mark my vertex right at the corner. And then I'm going to take my horizontal side and my vertical side. I'm going to fold my vertical side down so it folds right on that vertex, but lining up with the horizontal line at the bottom, just like that. Here's how yours should look. You see that? All right. So now what you're going to do is you're going to fold it back open and just look at those 2 angles I created. Is this angle, down and up, the same as this angle, down and across? Yes or no? Ask your partner. Okay, if you said they are the same, you are correct, because one folded on top of the other. This extra piece of paper here does not count. It's not part of our angles for our 90 degrees. So they are the same. So what we want to ask ourselves is we know this is a 90-degree angle. If I have now broken it into 2 angles, straight down and up, and then down and over, what 2 measurements would equal 90 degrees that are exactly the same? Go ahead and pause this while you figure that out. If you came up with 45 degrees plus 45 degrees, you are correct, because 45 plus 45 is indeed 90. All right, so let's imagine we open up our fold again. And we now have how many angles? If I turn it this way, you might see it better. You've got this angle, this angle, this angle, and this angle. Go ahead and trace all those angles. I want to make sure that you actually see them. Make sure you trace along the lines. While I'm tracing, you can observe my Winnie the Pooh sheet that I have on top of my dog's cage. It's very exciting. All right, do you see them now? So we have all these different angles. Well, we know when we originally had these 2, they were worth 45 each. 45 plus 45 is 90. These angles, are they the same? Think about that for a second. If you said yes, you're right. Because if you fold everything up, they're going to be exactly the same. So ask yourself, what four numbers are going to add up to equal what this angle is? What is it? It's a straight, you're right. If you said 45 degrees, you're correct. So what I want you to do is I want you to look right here. If this is 45 degrees, and what is this angle here? It's a straight angle, right? So I know a straight angle is 180 degrees. And if I know that this one's 45, imagine this is just one angle. What would it be? Well, it'd be 180 minus 45, which equals 135 degrees. So we can use the fact that we know what a straight angle equals and take away a given angle to determine what the other angle is. Now we know these are all 45, so we could have just said 45 plus 45 plus 45, since they're all the same. But they will not always be all the same. If I line my protractor up, I can see that if my vertex is on the vertex right here, then I'm going to flip this over so you can read it better. Then I can see that this angle is 45 degrees. I can turn it and I can see that this angle is 45 degrees. I can measure them as well. But if I don't want to measure and I have some angles to work with, I can make my life easier. All right, now I'd like you to take your other half sheet. You'll notice mine has changed colors. It's because I screwed up the first one. Oops. And I'd like you to fold it in half, left to right. Don't mess up like I did. Nah, just kidding. Left to right, we have now made a right angle, or you should have made a right angle. Everything should be perfectly down and around. You can certainly check it with your protractor to make sure that you agree it is indeed a right angle. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take this corner and you're going to fold it down. You are not, however, going to fold it perfectly corner to corner. You're just going to fold it in so that this corner bends. So we're going to fold it maybe like, I don't know, this maybe? Your fold will be different than mine. And then you're going to open it back up. And what I would like you to do is I would like you to trace this line you just created. Probably should use a straight edge now that I'm thinking about this. Because you're going to use this to measure this angle. So here is my straight edge. Here's my first angle. Here's my second angle. All right, so from here we have our right angle. And since we know it's a right angle, how many degrees? We know it's 90. Well, the problem is we don't know what either angle is. So we have to measure one of them. So we're going to measure this bottom one. Just it's a little bit easier to measure. Lining up your protractor correctly, of course. And this measures out to be about 62, 63. So we're going to call this 63 degrees. If I know this angle is 63 degrees, what can I do to figure out this angle? Hint, hint, it's only 90. 90. Right, we take 90 degrees and we subtract 63. If we do that the correct way, 9 becomes an 8 because we borrowed a 10. 10 is 10 ones plus 0 ones is 10 ones. Take away 3 is 7 ones. 27 degrees. These two must equal what the total angle is. And since it's 90, 27 and 63 must equal 90. Then check it with your protractor and let's see how you did. I'm just going to line one of these up. Now I'm going to see it's about 20, looks like 28. So I might have been off on one of my other sides. But you have 3 plus or minus. So that way you should be able to figure it out. 90 take away one of those, is going to give you the answer you need. When you did 90 minus 63, you could have turned it into an equation like that by just putting a variable there. That x is what you're solving for. This would have been the x, just as an idea. All right, and the last thing I want to show you guys is how to take a 180-degree angle and figure out what degrees are missing. We already see we have 63 and 27. What do you think this angle is going to be? Well, since it folded onto this one, it's probably going to be 27, isn't it? And how about this one right here? This angle right here? It's probably going to be 63 because they folded on top of each other. Absolutely. Let's imagine that we know this one's 27. And I do know. I mean, I can set the protractor up and I can angle it and I can see. I mean, it says 28, but I'm going to run with 27. Let's imagine that we don't know this one. How can we figure it out? We have part, 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 whole. How do we figure this out? I hope you said you take all the parts and you add them up together, which is true. And then you subtract it from 180. So let's write a couple of equations here. We take our 63 degrees plus our 27 degrees plus our 27 degrees plus our, let's name this y degrees, and that all equals 180 because this is a straight angle, this one right here. 4 angles make it up. It's a straight angle. If I add these three together, I get 63 plus 27 plus 27. 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 3 is 17, 1 extra 10. 6 plus 2 tens is 8 tens, 2 tens is 10 tens, 1 10 is 11 tens. So this is 117 degrees. So I now have 117 plus y equals 180, because this is 180. It's a straight angle. In order to figure that out, I can take my 180, subtract my 117, and I can get whatever y equals. 8 becomes a 7, borrowed a 10. 10 ones, take away 7 is 3 ones. 7 take away 1 is 6 tens. 63 degrees. So y equals 63 degrees. The most important thing you need to remember is what is the total angle I'm dealing with. If it's 90 degrees, then you're going to be subtracting from 90. If it's a 180 degree straight angle, you're going to be subtracting from 180. If it's a 270 degree angle, you'll be subtracting from 270 degrees. And if it's a 360 degree angle, well, then you can subtract from 360. All you have to remember is parts add together, wholes and parts subtract. Good luck. Go ahead and work on your problem set and then your homework with a partner.